Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. I'm back with another 5 questions where I compile 5 questions that were asked of me about social media and social video over the past week, and I answer them on the stream. I've got to start with an apology. I did my first one of these about 3 weeks ago, and I said I'm going to go live every Friday, and then I left on vacation. I missed 2 weeks. I apologize for that, but now I'm back. I'm going to do this every Friday. New year. Never quit quitting. I'm definitely going to start doing it now. So apologies for that. But because of that, I had a couple weeks where I had a chance to talk to a lot of people who I don't regularly talk to in the industry. And I got to talk to some, let's say, more casual people outside of the digital content industry. And now I've kind of got some kind of new angles on questions that I haven't gotten before. So there's something I'm really excited about. So let's jump right in. So the first question. Lots of digital properties have gone on to mainstream success, like Issa Rae's Insecure, Broad City, etc. I'll also add like Rachel Bloom with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Teachers, a bunch of other ones that started getting TV shows and they started doing really well. What's going on, Nanners? Thank you for dropping in the stream. So there's a lot of them that did really well, but a lot of bigger internet stars like Grace Helbig, Miranda Sings, couldn't make their shows work. So Miranda Sings had a show on Netflix, got canceled after 2 seasons. Grace had a show on E, got canceled after a season. But they're way bigger stars than the ones that succeeded. So should Hollywood be looking to the internet to upstream content? That's a very big question, but I'll try to answer it pretty concisely. So if Hollywood is looking at internet stars to be the solve for having an audience. So if they say, okay, PewDiePie has 50 million followers on YouTube. Therefore, if I put his show on TV, then 10% of them are going to convert and he's going to get 5 million people plus whoever else stumbles in. And then we're going to be big. That is a complete fallacy, and it's a lie that's been told around the industry for a long time. It's completely different audiences, right? It's really, really hard to convert anyone but your diehard super fans to follow you to television. And I think that's where Grace Helbig and even Miranda Sings had a little bit of a problem is they're offering a lot of free content online and that's what their fans like. And then they say, cool, now go to this other platform or go to television and try to find me and watch me at this particular moment. That's how my show is going to be. A lot of the stars will go, cool, I love you on YouTube, but I don't want to go out of my way to do this other thing. And the viewership's hurt. However, the reason why things like Broad City and Issa Rae and some other channels that started on YouTube did really, really well is they weren't looking at them for their fan base. They were looking at them for their talent. And if somebody is incredibly talented and makes a great piece of content and you put it out to Hollywood, and you put it out in the right way, that is, you put marketing behind it, you get it at the right time slot, it's bound to do really well, right? There's no metric of fame that has anything to do with quality. So the fact that Issa Rae did so well and Rachel Bloom did so well and Broad City and Teachers and other stuff is a testament to their quality, not to their fandom. So I would venture so far as to say that Issa Rae probably did not have many fans follow her, or at least not enough fans to show up in a rating system in a meaningful way on HBO when she started her show. People just went, oh, that looks like a really cool show, and they watched it, and then they loved it, and then it gained the fan base. So you should be looking to internet content to upstream shows, but where everybody screws up and everybody's going to continue to screw up for a while, and I'm going to beg you not to, is don't look at the numbers. If their numbers are really, really high, don't think that that means that they're going to do really well on television. Look at the content. And if the content is something that can travel and they're really talented and they're ready for prime time and they can actually do a movie or a TV show, that's when you can consider it. So I'm going to actually go off my 5 questions because I got another one coming through my feed here from Brian Stavis. What's going on, Brian? He's probably sitting in the office right behind me. So he said, thoughts on PewDiePie's new video, Phil, good or bad look for YouTube and PewDiePie? So I assume the new video you're talking about is the 2018, the real 2018 rewind. Let me just check and see if you're talking about another one. I'm just going to pull it up really quick. But PewDiePie recently released a video that was essentially like the PewDiePie, or the 2018 YouTube Rewind. So every year Rewind is something YouTube does where they kind of package a best of the year. PewDiePie, it was the most disliked video of all time on YouTube. And then PewDiePie made his response and it became the most liked video on YouTube of all time. Non-music video, that is. That's not the newest one, but I'm guessing, Brian, let me know if you're talking about a different one, but I'm guessing that's the one you're talking about. Because I don't know if it's the one that posted 5 hours ago that says mobile ads need to be stopped. But I haven't watched that video yet, so I have no opinion. I think what PewDiePie did was kind of like... what I think he was proving out from that is that audiences on the internet are really smart by doing his own version of Rewind and having it show Logan Paul's Suicide Forest and memes that are actually shared and TikTok memes and stories that people actually talked about and drama. Yep, that's the one. Okay, cool. Okay, then I'm getting on the right one. And I think it's cathartic for somebody to see somebody just go out and tell the truth, and I think that that's why it's doing so well. It's because YouTube Rewind, I wrote an earlier LinkedIn post about this, but YouTube Rewind, I think, suffered because it didn't feel like the internet that people were watching. And YouTube fans watched it and went, this has nothing to do with, it was like deeply inauthentic. I had somebody respond to me on that thread saying that he thought that the reason why I got so many dislikes because of pylon culture and troll culture. I disagree because I feel like I don't participate in troll culture in that way, or at least I hope I don't. And I still, like, you feel it in your gut when you're watching that video of, non-actors spitting out lines about how they've impacted. And they said, let's go to the comment section, which everyone knows the comment section is horribly toxic. And then they show all these positive things that people are saying in the comments. And you're like, it felt like the audience is being lied to. And then PewDiePie released his video and it felt like he was telling the truth, blemishes and all. And I think that people found it really cathartic. That and he has a diehard fan base and they're going to do whatever he says. I mean, now he's got hackers that are taking over connected devices to do pro PewDiePie messages. So he's also got that. But I think that the video worked so well. Even for someone like me, he had an in memoriam where he said he showed a picture of Stan Lee and didn't make a joke about it or anything. He was just like actually talking about what the internet's talking about. And I felt like there was something kind of genuine and sweet about it. Even though he still had a lot of his like sarcasm and cynicism mixed in. So yeah, I think that it felt good. So let's go on to the next question. I see that, Jin, you said TV is another branch of social media. They shouldn't mirror the same content on different platforms. Fans have no reason to tune in. Absolutely, I 100% agree. Actually, before I go to the next one, Mike Matsky just said, Big Phil, how do you feel IGTV is doing so far from a talent perspective, but also from a UI standpoint? I still drop into IGTV maybe once a week, and they're still serving me videos that have nothing to do with my preferences. And I don't know why, sitting on top of big data as Facebook and Instagram does, they can't figure out that I don't want a beauty video served to me. But I think they have horrible curation issues. I think people are creating interesting stuff. But I don't see a compelling reason for people to watch IGTV yet. Like, I feel like Instagram Stories does a better job of what IGTV already does. So until they I think that they need to build context and curation a little bit up before it becomes compelling. But I was actually really surprised and disappointed. It felt like Instagram TV was just, like, they made a big deal out of the launch, then they didn't talk about it, and they're not fixing it, and they're not sunsetting it, and it just feels like it's sitting there. And somebody's really screwing up with that one. So Brian said, I'd like to know your views on Facebook Watch influencers coming to the platform when CPMs are so low. What do you think will happen there in 2019? Facebook Watch influencers coming to the platform when the CPMs are so low. I don't know if the meaningful creators are coming to the platform. I feel like a lot of people on Watch are ones who are getting shows where they're getting paid by Facebook. I feel like the other ones are maybe doing it as a reach play, but like, it's not like I don't see, Logan Paul going on his YouTube vlog and saying, hey, check out the full video on YouTube Watch. Like, it feels like a bit of an afterthought, or Facebook Watch. So yeah, I think that the CPMs are really low because I think abandonment rate is high on mid-roll and that people don't stick around on videos as long as you think. So it's really an effective CPM that's low. Per ad, it's probably pretty good, but I think a lot of people aren't getting to the ad or getting through the ad. I feel like Facebook has a lot of soul searching to do still, What they really need to do is get people out of the timeline environment and get them into like a dedicated watch environment, and that's hard. And that's they made a little play at that when they did their original series, but I don't think the spend was probably worth it at the end of the day. So, sorry, I only did question 1 for my sheet. I see a lot of questions rolling in, so I'm going to go on to question 2 so I can go through these 5 questions, then I'll go back and do a couple more. So, question number 2, Mixer, Caffeine, Live AF. I'll add Live.me, a bunch of others. There's a ton of live streaming platforms launching. Why and will they succeed? So I'm the head of creators over at Mobcrush. We're really more of a live streaming tool set than a live streaming platform. So we allow you to concurrently stream to all of your platforms at once from one input, which is what I'm doing right now on Mobcam. You can download it at mobcam.live. There's my plug. But there's a lot of platforms that are launching too, and we're talking to a lot of them about figuring out solutions, and it's pretty simple. I think that a lot of people see, if they look back at the history of creation on social platforms, it's really about those endorphin rushes, right? I get a like, I'm excited. I get a view, I'm excited. I get a comment that says keep going, I get excited. I get a negative comment and I get to get in a flame war, I get excited. It's about hitting emotional highs, right? And when you go live, the endorphin rush is really good. Like right now, you guys are commenting at me. My brain is having synapses firing saying, people are paying attention to you. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, right? One after another. You don't get that when you make VOD content. When I'm vlogging, I don't get to see that until it's a comment thread and it's not as immediate. So really good experience for the creator. It's done in real time. I create an hour of content in an hour, right? So high value in that because you can churn out more content faster. All the metrics are saying live content is growing. The idea of advertisers being able to hit a real-time audience. So if I'm a movie company and I have a movie releasing on Friday, I can buy against live views that are happening on a Friday, and I know the content is relevant. I know people are watching in real time. That's valuable. So I think that everybody sees the value in live content. The tough part about live content is nobody really owns live content. Now, a lot of people would say, well, Twitch, right? Twitch is all live content. It's huge. Yes, but that's still primarily gaming. They've got little vlog stuff here. Thank you, Jin, for saying I'm here because your stubble game is on point. I appreciate that. But yeah, so Twitch owns that. But like when you look at IRL live streaming or vlogging or, travel vlogging or cooking or anything else that's live, a lot of people are playing in it. Facebook's playing in it. YouTube's playing in it, but nobody really owns it. So I think a lot of people are going out to investors and saying, we're going to be the Twitch, but for personalities. We're going to have Will Smith doing their thing on it, or Logan Paul doing their thing on this. And meanwhile, Twitch is going to IRL because they're acknowledging that in the market too. And they're saying, well, we've got to own this too. So I think that there's a lot of people launching because a lot of people think they can own this space. I and a lot of other people at Mobcrush, I think we agree that it's like, those are going to be big money plays and they're going to battle it out. What we're going to do in the meantime is create solutions for creators so that they can move cross-platform easier, they can monetize easier, they can get more audience easier. And if you're solving for that, at least I've noticed historically, that's always the more important solve. So, question number 3. This is somebody who reads my LinkedIn who challenged me a little bit. So they said, you were hard on ByteDance for absorbing Musical.ly and shutting down the brand for TikTok. So for those of you who don't know, ByteDance bought Musical.ly, which is a really big, very youth-skewing platform in America, mostly lip-sync videos, but was growing huge stars. I had 100 million users. ByteDance, which is a Chinese company, bought Musical.ly and then sunsetted the Musical.ly name and then rolled it into TikTok, which has 500 million people, but it's mostly in Asia. And I said, when that happened, they're making a huge mistake by shutting down Musical.ly. And they said, now TikTok is huge. Are you ready to admit you were wrong? I'm stubborn, so I'll say yes and no. Where I was wrong is I said that TikTok is unknown in America. It's incredibly difficult to grow. Thanks for saying great haircut, Nate. I appreciate that, man. Your baby's adorable, by the way. TikTok was unknown in America, and I thought that it would take a long time for American audiences to be introduced to it, and blew up, right? It started growing very, very quickly. So I was wrong in that TikTok, I thought, was really punishing themselves by making Musical.ly disappear. Where I think that they still made a mistake is Musical.ly as a concept and as a name meant something. And it meant something really deep to people. So TikTok has to regain a lot of that. And TikTok feels like its own thing. But if they would have kept Musical.ly going as like a, you know, the lip sync portion of it, or have it be absorbed in a nicer way, or have it be a tour, or have it evolve the brand in a different way, I feel like there was a ton of value there, and just by letting it go it felt like they were shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. So, and also TikTok's success, it's really like, where would TikTok's success be if PewDiePie didn't start covering it in a lot of his vlogs? Not to take the cynical idea of it, but they also got an incredible bit of luck when the biggest YouTuber in the world decided that they were going to start talking about TikTok memes and then getting 5 minutes. It was essentially free advertising for them. So they got a bit of luck in there too. But TikTok's a great platform, and they've done it really well. They need to watch out a little bit for how negative the platform has gotten, because they're going to have bullying problems. So I'll do one more question before I go on to question number 4 of my 5. But Joel Cooper, another wonderful digital expert, said, what are your thoughts on Jack Black's sudden emergence on YouTube? I love talking about this. I've already done 2 LinkedIn posts on this. So Jack Black grew. So when I was over at Studio 71 as the chief operating officer, we were doing a channel for The Rock, and we were talking to a lot of other celebrities. And Jack Black blew them all out of the water in terms of subscriber growth. So in the matter of a few weeks, they got 2.5 million subscribers. And people are saying, well, why? The Rock is one of the biggest social media stars in the world, and Jack Black, sure, he's a star, but not to the level of followers that, you know, The Rock has. So how did he grow faster? There's a few reasons, right? But it all boils down to one big reason, which is that he launched on YouTube as a YouTuber. He didn't launch as an untouchable celebrity, which a lot of people make this mistake. And I would even argue The Rock made this mistake. He was trying to make TV and put it on digital. That's not what you do. Jack Black was doing it vlog style. He was reaching out to the gaming community specifically. He made a very clear statement about why he was starting a channel and what he was hoping to accomplish. And he made it funny, and he made it authentic, and it meant something, right? And if you do that, then, I mean, a lot of Jack Black's growth, I think, is also because Reddit communities in gaming also went out and said, hey, subscribe to it. This is awesome. This is very cool. So he got the support from the community by going hat in hand and saying, I want to create like a creator. So I think it's a great thing. I hope he keeps it up. A lot of times Hollywood celebrities, when they jump onto digital platforms, they get really excited about it, and then their next movie comes along, and then they abandon it. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but I hope he keeps it going. So, all right, I'm going to go back to Jin's question in a little bit, but I'm going to go through number 4 and 5 here really quick. So number 4 of my 5 questions. You've been pitching live video hard for the past year. Naturally, I work for a live video streaming company, but live videos generally get less views than VOD. Why do you believe in it so much? So I went over this a little bit earlier in the stream, but I'll answer more specifically. So when live viewership is most special is when it's actually happening, right? So then all of a sudden the content becomes a conversation. You can actually interact with the comments thread. The comments thread feels like they're part of it. So let's say somebody does a 1-hour stream. For 1 hour, it is super, super, super valuable content. You're getting more engagement. You're getting more endorphin rushes. You're getting more real-time creation. It's awesome. If you were to make a 1-hour video and you post it on YouTube, it's equally special for the next 1 week or 2 weeks, depending on the type of content and how evergreen it is. It's valuable for as long as it's valuable, right? So naturally, you're going to get more views because on hour 3, 4, 5, and 6, you'll get more persistent viewership. Now, I would argue there's different types of live content, right? And the best way to look at this is to look at it like, let's say, they've done the Academy Awards, right? The second that it's happening, super, super valuable. When it's done, it's not like people are going out and buying the DVD of the Academy Awards. It's not special. But if you're watching Grease live when they did that special on TV, sure, it's cool that it's live and it's a stunt that it's live. Or if you're watching better one, Saturday Night Live, right? it's live, but the rewatchability value is really high afterwards. You can watch that sketch the next day and it can go viral and it's huge, right? That's live content that's being put on digital platforms. Super, super valuable, right? So if you're creating more evergreen live content, then the second that you're done, it doesn't lose its value and it's going to get views just like a piece of VOD content. That's not how most people on digital platforms are creating right now. They're creating content optimized for real time, which is mostly answering back to the comment section. So yes, that will be way higher in value when it's live and then dip directly lower in value. So if you're a brand that's trying to reach out to people that are hit within that window, you're gonna get some of the highest value, most engaged views as possible, but it's gonna be less views than VOD. But if it's a creator that's creating a live piece of content, you're gonna get all of that cool engagement and interaction, but you're making it more evergreen, so you also get the tail. That's where the real win's gonna be. And I believe the market is gonna continue to get there. And as it does, then, I'll grow the market and we're all gonna buy Lamborghinis. That's the hope. So, question number 5. What is your boldest online video prediction for 2019? Very, very open question, and I've got a lot of different answers to it. But I'll boil it down to one a little bit more specifically. So it's something that smart creators have known for a long time, but few have acknowledged or at least done anything about it, which is a view is not that valuable. A subscriber is not that valuable. A follower on Instagram is not that valuable. Those are vanity metrics. They don't matter, right? What's really valuable is the depth of fandom that you're building, right? So not just who's watching me right now, but who's going to watch me next week. And not who's clicking on my link, but who's clicking on my link and then reading what's on the other side of it. And not, who clicks the subscribe button, but who's the one who's typing in my URL because they know me that well and they care, right? Now that CPMs are so low on places like Facebook and are really, really down on places like YouTube, so it's hard to make money, people are going to start going to the platforms where fandom can be built the most. And I think that one great example of that is TikTok, right? On TikTok, you can build very, very deep fans very quickly. Instagram, I feel like, is the same way. On Instagram stories, you can make content that's really, really fast. People feel like they're watching a documentary of your life. They're really into it. I think, naturally I'm a live snob, so Twitch, all the live streaming platforms, for people who are fans of live creators, it feels like they're jumping on a phone call with them every day. That's a different level of fandom. And you better believe when people go, oh my God, Baby Ariel came out of Musical.ly. How did she become such a big star that she was able to transfer audience? It's because she had a platform that made her audience feel closer to her, right? So I think that creators in 2019 are going to start going to greener pastures in terms of growing fandom. I think that more creators are going to leave YouTube or put up a burnout video so they have an excuse to leave YouTube. They're going to start creating more on the younger platforms. And I think as a result of it, the platform wars are going to get more intense, which should be pretty interesting, right? Because what does that mean? Does that mean that YouTube's going to start paying more creators? Does it mean that Facebook is going to find ways to monetize in new and exciting ways? Twitch has already started by having kind of sponsorship marketplaces, stuff like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting and aggressive. And I think ultimately it'll be good for creators because you're not going to get change unless you start standing up and saying, look, I'm not making the money I need in order to create on your platform anymore. It's not fun enough to be worth doing it just for fun, or, I'm not getting enough out of it, right? So you need to start making changes. So that'll be interesting. So those are my 5 questions, but I'm going to go back to one that Jen asked. So he was asking about TikTok. He said, but aren't there monetization issues for users with TikTok and Musical.ly being they're broadcasting other company and individuals' property? Absolutely, yeah, there is. But let's not take the short view of monetization. Let's take the long view, right? The long view of monetization is, oh, thank you. I got a couple new followers on Mixer. What's going on? I am gay and a drunk turtle who are now spamming my account. Fun times. So yes, when we're talking about TikTok and Musical.ly, yes, monetization almost impossible to do directly on TikTok and Musical.ly. But what it's really easy to do is build fan bases that can be monetized in other ways, right? So I would then challenge. I would then ask back to you, what's more valuable, a true follower, a true fan, or monetization on a particular video, right? So, I think that TikTok and Musical.ly are not built for just, if all you're doing is simply waiting for what's my CPM on this particular video, then, doesn't work. Well, cool. That's my 5 questions for the week, so I appreciate it. Make sure to ask more questions. Hit me up on LinkedIn, send it to me via Twitter, send it to me wherever. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'll address them next week. So until then, have a happy Friday.